Hi, I'm Jody, and I have a zillion sources of hope and inspiration, encouragement, support. I'm really blessed and lucky to have manifested such amazing things in my life, such as gardening and beloved books, lots of time in Mother Nature, and a network of friends and family that are spectacular. But even I still find myself down in the dumps and depression knocking on the door sometimes. And when that happens, there's one story, one experience from my life that I almost always turn to. And that's the story of my daughter Brenna's birth. I had an amazing pregnancy. I had literally danced through my pregnancy, doing dance shows, modern dance and Celtic dance shows. And then labor and delivery was incredible. It was about 5 hours of a walking mantra, listening to Enya, and at Nativity Birthing Center in Spring. And then 10 pushes in the birthing tub, and Brenna was here. My midwife raised her up and put her onto my chest, and I was elated. That was my highest high of my entire life. I'd wanted to be a mama since I was 5 years old, and that dream had finally come true. And then I looked down at Brenna's little face, and her lips were blue. She wasn't breathing. Pretty low. Super midwife Melanie sprung into action, and lots of things happened, but the gist of it is Brenna's father took her via ambulance to the nearest hospital a few minutes down the road. But I, unfortunately, had to stay behind because for any of you who have not had a baby or witnessed an actual birth, when the baby comes out, mama's work is not done yet. There's still more that has to happen down there before she's free to go. So I had to wait, and those are the most agonizing minutes of my entire life. When I finally was ready to go, made it over to the hospital and burst through the NICU doors, and the first thing I saw was Brenna's father's face. It was ashen and tear-stained, and his lip was trembling. I was devastated, completely heartbroken. But then I followed his gaze to see where he was looking. And I looked over, and there, in an incubator of a cradle, was a baby with a tube coming out of her mouth and wires hooked up all over her head and hands and feet and belly. I didn't see any of those tubes or wires. All I saw was a rosy-cheeked baby whose chest was rising and falling. She was alive. And 7 days later, got to take her home. And I go back to that story because it reminds me that miracles still happen, that there are good people in the world willing to help you when you are having the biggest tragedy of your life. And that story reminds me that life can change just in a single breath. So don't lose hope. Thank you.